Hi, this is Barry here, and you are very, very welcome to today's episode of the Passion to Profits podcast. Now, in today's podcast episode, I'm going to give you 10 aha moments I've discovered over the years of doing this. Now, these aha moments may be things that you've already realized yourself. There may be things that you might disagree with, but over the years of doing this stuff, these are what I have discovered. Now, the first aha moment, and a big one for me, was that you can create something once and you can get paid for it again and again and again. Now, in the offline world, when you do a 9 to 5 job, you work for an hour and you get paid for an hour. And when that hour's over, that's it. If you want another hour's pay, you're going to have to give another hour of your life. Now, online, I realized that things are far, far different here, in that I can create a piece of content once and it can be watched over and over and over again. For example, this video here. I can record this video, and for however long I leave this video up, it can be watched again and again and again. This podcast can be listened to again and again and again, and all I am giving up right now is the time just to record this content. But it can be listened to and watched over and over and over again. Now, the thing that made me realize that was when I started writing fiction books and putting them on the Amazon Kindle store. And what I found was it would take me maybe 3, maybe 4 weeks to put a Kindle book together. I'd put it up on the store. And then what Amazon would do, very nice of them, would send me a little check for sales of that book. And they'd send this check to me this month. They'd send it next month. They'd send it next month. And they'd keep continuing sending me those checks for those books for as long as those books were being sold. And I was getting paid for work that I had done months previously. And you're going to find that as well too, that when you come online, especially when you record stuff digitally, either writing ebooks, making videos, maybe doing podcast episodes and things like that, you're going to realize the great opportunity for you to duplicate yourself. You know, right now there can be 100 people watching me in videos all over the place. And that's because I am duplicating myself. And that was a huge aha moment for me, was that I didn't need to be here all the time. I didn't need to, get paid by the hour. That if I spent an hour doing something digitally, I could resell it again and again and again. And you're going to find the same for you as well too. If you get the courage up to record videos, do podcast episodes, and maybe sell ebooks or digital courses, you can show up in front of people again and again and again, which to me, in the beginning, totally blew me away. Second thing I would say to you, and another big aha moment for me, was that you don't need to ask permission of anyone to do what you would like to do. Now, in the offline world, yes, you probably have to ask people for permission to do this and to do that. For example, if I wanted to be like a disc jockey on a radio, I would have to go to all the radio stations, see if there was a slot, probably have to go for an interview, and then hopefully sometime eventually I might get my foot on the door and I might become a DJ. Now, online, the rules are completely different. I can just start a radio show here today. I don't need to ask permission from anyone. Again, going offline, it used to be that if you wanted to write a book, you would have to write a book. You'd have to find maybe an agent. You'd have to go around to all the different publishing companies and you'd have to beg them to publish your book. But online, it's different. I can write a book today and I can publish it tomorrow. I don't need to ask anyone's permission. And I want you to realize that whatever you want to do right now, you don't need to ask permission of anyone. You know, if you want to make videos right now, you don't need to ask me. You don't need to ask your friends. You don't need to ask some secret group on the internet for permission. You just simply record your videos, just like I'm doing here. If you want to be a podcaster, just go ahead and start podcasting. If you want to sell digital products, just go ahead and sell it. You don't need to wait for any kind of mysterious crowd just to anoint you with this title and say, well, from today onwards, you are a writer. From today onwards, you are a podcaster. Or from today onwards, we're going to allow you to sell digital books. You don't need to ask for anyone's permission. So stop holding yourself back because you think there is somebody that is in charge of what you do on the internet. You can do whatever the hell you like, as long as you are not causing any problems and as long as you're not putting any hate content out or anything like that. But you can basically do whatever you want. Another thing that I'd say to you as well too is that, again, another aha moment for me was that some people will like you. Now, we come online hoping that people will like us, But when we find that maybe some people do like what we do, it blows us away. You know, when I go back to thinking about my Kindle books, I wanted people to like my Kindle books, but deep down, I didn't think anyone would like my writing. So when I published my Kindle books, when I put them out there, and I started getting nice comments back and reviews, people ask me, well, are you going to write book 2? Or are you going to write book 3? That blew me away, because I was looking at myself as little old me who had written a book, nothing big, nothing extraordinary about me. I didn't think I was the greatest writer in the world, but people liked what I did. And you're going to find that as well too. Even though you think to yourself, well, who the hell would watch me in a video? Who would listen to me in a podcast episode? Who the hell would read my ebooks? You're going to find people will like you. And you're going to find that people also not like you. And you need to be aware of that as well too. And I think sometimes we are so focused on the wrong audience, we're focusing on the people we think will hate us, that we just are afraid to record our videos, do what we'd like to do. But what you need to realize is, yes, there will be haters out there, but on the opposite side, there will be people who like what you do. And that is what you need to focus on. You need to focus on the people who like what you do, and be aware that, like the haters, that group is out there. And even though you think of yourself as maybe nothing special, people will like you because you're you. So do what you want to do, and you will find that your audience will show up eventually. It might take them a little while for them to find you and find your work, but the longer you stay out here recording content, you're going to find your audience will show up and they will support you. Sometimes the people online will actually give you more support than the people offline. You know, even though you mightn't be getting much support maybe around your family, your friends and people close to you, you're going to find some random people on the internet will love what you do and will be as close to your kind of a cheerleading squad as you're ever going to find. So be aware of that. That was a big aha moment for me, that people would like me for what I do. Again, what I'd say to you as well too is that if you are an introvert like me, you can be successful online. Now, this was a big aha moment for me because it's easy to look at social media. It's easy to listen to podcasters. It's easy to, watch all these big kind of experts on the internet, and they always seem so full of themselves, or always full of confidence, always feel like extroverts, and us introverts feel, well, this is a game we can't play. It's all the extroverts who are going to be successful online. Now, I'll tell you, if you are an introvert, don't hold yourself back because you feel that you just can't compete with these people. What you should think about is just being you. And as an introvert, and if you knew me years back, you would be surprised how far I've come this past couple of years. Like, I would have been terrified to record a video. I would have been terrified to put my voice on audio. I would have been terrified to write a book and expect some people to pay me for my work. I had no confidence in myself. I had no belief in myself. And I found, as I did this long enough, a little bit of confidence still grew in me. But at my core, I am still an introvert. It might seem sometimes in these videos that I'm full of myself and that I've got confidence in this and that, but really, at my very core, I am still an introvert. And you will find sometimes the people that you actually think are extroverts, because they're all out there, they're always coming up with content, and they're always in videos and stuff like that. But sometimes you find these people are introverts as well too. So if you are an introvert, this playground is here for you as well too. You can do whatever you want to do. So don't think it's just for the extroverts, all the show-offs. It's not. It's here for you as well too. Another thing I realized, an aha moment, was that you need to like what you do. Stupidly, when I came online, I, like most of us do, I went chasing after the money. I went chasing after different products, trying to sell products, writing on topics, recording content about topics that I had no love for. And that was because I was just chasing the money. It was all money, 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 money. The money was over here, so I was chasing after the money. And what I found was I'd no love for it. I didn't like what I did. And I found that over time, my just motivation and inspiration just went down the plug hole. And so what happened was I, in the beginning, was writing loads of blog posts, but over time I just got tired of writing about that subject because it didn't interest me. Again, video content, and at the beginning it was great making these couple of videos, but then over time, as I was talking about the same subjects and talking about things I didn't like, I just kind of gave up. It just kind of fizzled away. And you're going to find the same for you as well too, that if you go chasing after the money, you're going to find that it's going to fizzle away eventually. You're going to lose motivation. You're not going to show up here consistently, and you're not going to get the success that you want to achieve. So what you need to do is, yes, you do need to go after the money if you are looking for money, but you need to find something that you love doing. And if you can't find something that you love doing that has money in it, at least try and find something that you like doing. Because at least if you like it, at the bare minimum, you will show up and record your videos because you like talking about this topic. You know, if you like what you do, you're going to have no problems writing blog posts. But you need to have some affection for the thing that you're doing, because you're going to find as well to you, if you've got no love, if you've got no passion for the thing you're talking about, people are just going to see that in your content. It's just going to be dead. It's going to be stale. There's going to be nothing in it. And why would anyone pay attention to someone who is just dead in the video? Would you not rather go to someone who is passionate about what they're speaking about? And you're going to find that passion leads to where the money is. So if you do maybe kind of fall into the kind of trap of following the people who are just chasing the money online, let them go off on their way. They're not going to be successful with it. You need to find what you like doing and focus there. Build your audience there and start making money in that. And as I said, when you like what you do, you're going to show up here consistently. People are going to see that you like what you're talking about. And we are normally attracted to people who are passionate about the things that they like. So that was a big aha moment for me, was stop chasing the money and find something that I love, or at least like doing. What I'd say to you as well too is that another aha moment for me was that you don't need to know everything. Again, stupidly, we think we need to read all the books, watch all the videos, and spend all the time filling our head with knowledge before we start. You know, I found, stupidly, in the beginning that's what I did. I read all the books, I watched all the videos, I spent a load of money on ebooks, and then I realized that a lot of that knowledge that I had stuck in here, I didn't even use when I took action. And you're going to find as well too. What I'd say to you is, when it comes to taking action, you need to just gather the minimum amount of knowledge you need to take the next couple of steps that you need to take. And when you get to a place where you just don't know what to do next, then what you do is you go off, you get another piece of knowledge, and then you come back again, and then you take action again. Because you're not paid on the knowledge that you have. You're paid on your action with the knowledge. Action is where the money is. And if you want to make money, that's what you should be doing. Not filling your head with knowledge, it should be taking more action. So what you need to do is small amount of knowledge, a large amount of action, rather than a large amount of knowledge and a small amount of action. What I'd say to you as well too is that you are going to find in the beginning, people are going to doubt you. And sometimes that is surprising to us, that the people who live in our homes, our friends, family, people who are close to us, doubt us and don't think we're going to succeed. But you will find eventually that as you start to gather some momentum, as they start seeing that you're making progress, you will find some of these people will fall in behind you, that their doubt will kind of fade away. And some of them will say, oh, I knew you were going to be successful. I knew when you were doing those videos, you had it in you, and I knew it was going to happen. But you're going to find sometimes the people around us are going to doubt us. And as I said here many times, it's because the people around us know where the bodies are buried. Now, what I mean by that is they know all our past mistakes, all the goof ups, all the money-making schemes, all the different things we tried out that didn't work. And then when we show up today and say, well, I'm going to be making videos, I'm going to have a podcast, I'm going to create ebooks, I'm going to try and make money online. Again, they are going to look at our past history and then judge us on our past history. So you might find sometimes, again, that your greatest supporters are going to be the people online because they can see what you're doing. But sometimes it takes a while for our family and friends to kind of slot in behind us and actually be our cheerleaders. And sometimes you might find the people in your family and friends don't actually slot into line. And that can be surprising. That can be a little disheartening that we thought the people who were close to us would be our greatest cheerleaders. But again here, as I've said many times, sometimes the people who are closest to us secretly sometimes don't want us to be successful. Now, not in a malicious way, but suddenly if we are successful, we're building audiences, we're making money online, we're doing something that we're happy with, they have to look at their own lives and say, well, why didn't I do what she's doing? Why didn't I take action like him? I could have been in the same situation if I've followed my dreams and my goals. And sometimes you will find those people will try and claw onto you and pull you back to where they are. And it's not that they want you not to be successful. It's making them uncomfortable with their own life. So it's easier for them to drag you back and bring you back to their level instead of them trying to pull themselves up to your level. So be aware of that if you find the people around you doubt you. I've had that sometimes, but I've usually found that when I am successful, people kind of slot in behind me. What I'd say to you as well, too, another aha moment for me was that every failure teaches you something. As I said here many times, if there is something that kind of screwed us up over the years, it's school. It's all the exams we went through. It's all of us coming out the other side of school thinking that we are D students, E students, F students, and believing that that grade that we're at means that we are a failure and that we can only live a life as an E student or an F student or a D student. And we get so scared of failure. We are terrified of goofing up, especially in public. And what we do is we just stop taking risks when we come outside school because all the courage and everything was knocked out of us. When you consider a confident little child going into kindergarten who is just full of life, wants to try out different things, and then you compare that to the person who comes out of high school or university or whatever, it's so different. They are afraid of failing and they feel that they are a certain type of person because of the grade that they got in school. But what I've realized, and which was a big aha moment for me, was that failure teaches you stuff. Sometimes you think that when we have a failure, it means nothing worked out. But I've always found that when I had a failure, there was always something that I learned from it. Say for example, when I was writing my Kindle books, if I had a failure with a book, it'd be very easy to point it back at me here and say, Barry, you're an absolute complete failure. You shouldn't start writing any more books because writing fiction books isn't for you. But what I wised up to and what I realized was that idea that I tried out failed. Not that I was a failure, but the idea that I tried out failed. It was almost like I was somebody working in a lab. I was trying out an experiment, and the experiment I tried out, which was that book, didn't work out. So what I did was I distanced myself from my failure, and what I did was I looked at that book. I realized that that book wasn't good because of a lot of different reasons. And what I did was I took the knowledge from those failures, and then when I wrote my next book, I said to myself, well, Barry, if we don't make those mistakes in the next book is probably going to be a lot more successful. And that's what you need to realize, that even though it might seem like there's a failure, that everything is lost, that nothing good came from that, you're going to find that you will gather knowledge and gather some experience and gather some knowledge that you didn't have before that you can take into your next attempt. Even, for example, maybe doing videos like this. Say for example, maybe this podcast and these videos don't take off. Now, on the outside, it could probably look like that is an absolute complete failure. Barry, you failed doing the videos. You failed being a podcaster. But I know for a fact that even on the surface, although it might look like I am a failure, I have built courage. The fact that I'm sitting down here recording a video means that I have grown a lot. The fact that I've learned how to do videos like this, do a podcast like this, is knowledge that I can take into something else. So you're always going to find that you're gathering knowledge, you're gathering more experience, and you, by getting outside your comfort zone, trying out these different things, are going to be a different person who tries out the next thing. So there's always something that you are going to learn and take with you from failure. It's never a kind of, 100% that everything was a failure and there's nothing you can take from it. There is something to take from it. And you'll find that all this knowledge that you can take into your next attempt is going to make you more successful because you're not going to make those mistakes again. So don't see failure as an end point. It's just a little kind of stepping stone on your journey to where you want to get to. Now, what I'd say to you as well too is that, again, this was a big aha moment for me, maybe for you as well, is that you need to impress yourself and not other people. On social media, what we do is we go out of our way to impress everyone else. We put a post on Facebook, and what we're trying to do is we're trying to brag off how knowledgeable we are. We put it in a post on Instagram and we're trying to show people how beautiful we are. How wonderful we are, the wonderful lives we have. My beautiful car, my beautiful spouse. This is great about me and that's great about me. And what we're doing is we are trying to impress other people. Now, what if those other people aren't impressed by what you do? How do you feel then? Now, when you're looking to make other people or trying to impress other people to make you feel good about yourself, it means that those people outside you need to acknowledge you. They need to give you a thumbs up. They need to give you a like. They need to say, wow, you're brilliant. And you sometimes find that doesn't always happen. So what you need to do is you need to spin around on that. You need to look at you and you need to try and impress yourself. And by impressing yourself, you know what happens? You always impress yourself. The outside crowd that you're looking for, a bit of happiness by impressing, aren't always going to be there, aren't always going to be impressed by what you do. So wouldn't it be wiser to stop focusing on the people outside you that you've no control over and then taking control of the only person who can make you happy, and that's you. And that is simply doing things to impress you, like impressing yourself by recording your first video, impressing yourself by writing your first ebook, impressing yourself by building a website, a blog, taking a step outside your comfort zone. And you're going to find that the more times you try impressing yourself, you're always going to push yourself a little bit more just to see what you can do. And by always impressing yourself, there's always going to be somebody who's happy with what you do every day. And that's you. So stop trying to chase all the likes, all the shares, trying to get other people to be impressed by what you do, and then just focus on yourself. Try and impress yourself, because that really is the route to happiness. Forget everyone else. Just impress yourself today. And finally, what I'd say to you as well too is that cool kids don't get anywhere. I'm sure there's probably been kids in your classroom when you were growing up that were the cool kids. Everybody liked them. Everybody thought they were great. You probably wanted to be like them. And you find that later on in life that those people who were popular in school, who were all the cool kids, when you see them on Facebook, when you see them on social media, you realize that, something, they've done nothing with their lives. And that was because in school, when they were cool, when they come out in the real world, they try and carry on that kind of persona. They're always trying to be cool. And you're going to find that the people who try and be cool are people who never do anything. Again, you find the people on social media. Somebody could come along to your video, make a laugh out of you, say, oh, you're ugly, or that's a horrible video, or what the hell is, you shouldn't be on the internet. And you're going to find that those cool people that are trying to bring you down, if you go over to their profile, you're going to find they probably don't make any videos. They don't make any content. And they realize they don't do that is because they don't want to leave themselves open to anyone criticizing them, anyone bringing them down, because they want to remain cool. Now, I don't know about you, but would you rather go from cradle to grave, being someone who's cool and not doing anything with their life, or would you rather be somebody who just tries out different things, who isn't afraid of embarrassing themselves, who is happy to put themselves in a video, to try different things out, see what happens? And if you fall down your face, you fall down your face. But at least you're doing something with your life. Now, I don't know about you, but I would rather be that type of person than the cool kid that does nothing with their lives. So be aware that, all those people that we looked up to years ago in school, you find most times they don't do anything with their lives, and that is because they are afraid of losing this stupidly coolness that they think they need to hold on to. So, as I said, maybe after listening to this podcast, maybe some of these things have been things you already know yourself. Maybe they aren't big aha moments like they were for me. But you will find on your own journey that there will be things that will come up that you will just be blown away by. But I'm just letting you know that whatever you do right now, even though you mightn't have any confidence in yourself, even though you're worried about the people not liking you, I found that people will like you. People will like what you do. People will want you to come back and make another video. People will give you their money. And as I said, you're going to find sometimes your greatest supporters are out here on the internet. So hope you enjoyed this podcast episode. If you did, or if you have any maybe aha moments of your own, please feel free to leave them below the video. And as always, have a lovely day. Take care. Bye bye.